Thank you, Bruce. And it's so great to see so many people here, smiling faces, friends. Really happy, excited for this day. I think this is one of the IPC's golden jewels, which is our fellowship program. It's really brought together people from around the world to help advance careers. And a lot of our fellows have already gone on to become junior counselors, senior counselors, do their own independent work. It's really been a beautiful thing to see. For those of you who are in the fellowship program, you should be really proud of yourselves. I mean, it's incredibly competitive to get in. We get way more applications than we could receive, than we could approve. It goes through a very exhaustive review process by our faculty, by our staff, and you're really the best of the best. So thank you for being with us. With no further ado, we're going to do 5-minute presentations for each fellow. The first couple will be on Zoom because of geographic issues. People had trouble getting here. So I'll just Malin Assarsson. Is she on? There she is. Good morning. Good afternoon, is it? No? Okay.
Yeah.
And you're calling from Sweden. And it's slightly warmer here than where you are probably. Dr. Malin Assarsson is a consultant dermatologist at Rehov County Hospital in Sweden. I won't try and pronounce the town. She studied with IPC counselors Andrew Fink, Satvir Mahil, and Paula Di Meglio at St. John's Institute of Dermatology. Every time I mispronounce a word, by the way, you should take a drink. It's the drink. Mispronounce a name, you have to drink something. Okay. All right. So welcome, and we'll listen. Looking forward to your talk.
Thank you. And can you see my screen? I hope. I'm sorry I couldn't be here in person. I wish I could. Yeah, so I'm a consultant dermatologist from Jönköping, Sweden. It's not so easy to pronounce, and it's a small city in the southern part of Sweden. And I work at our local public hospital here. I got my PhD from Linköping University, which is our closest university, about 130 kilometers away, in November 2024. And my thesis was on the bacterial microbiome in psoriasis. So for my fellowship, I visited St. John's Institute of Dermatology in London, and I had 3 mentors, like you said, Satvir Mahil, Paula Di Meglio, and Andrew Pink. And I was there for a total of 4 weeks, 2 weeks in April and 2 weeks in October. And when I was there, I saw mainly clinical work with focus on severe psoriasis and severe eczema. But I also saw some general dermatology. I spent 1 day in the Volvo clinic, and I got to see a lot of clinical trials where new drugs were tested. And there is a large research lab also at St. John's that I got to spend some time in. And for my co-mentoring groups, I had 3 with the clinical focus, 2 on complex psoriasis cases, and 1 on pediatric psoriasis. And then I had 2 co-mentoring groups more research focused on clinical academic research and curing or silencing psoriasis. And I was very happy to get to meet some of my co-mentors in Paris during the EADV, which was great. Yeah, so what have I learned? There is a lot I could say here, and I wish I had more time to tell you how much this has meant to me, but I will keep it brief. I have a lot more knowledge about psoriasis, its pathogenesis, comorbidities, and treatments. I feel more confident when choosing the best treatment for each patient and when advising my colleagues. And my goal when I applied for this fellowship, it was to become a better clinician. And well, that was my only goal, basically. And I feel that I have achieved that. But this fellowship has also really opened my world to how much more there is to do. So I definitely want to continue seeing patients, and I want to be the best possible clinician, but I also want to do more. And I want to become more involved in clinical research and teaching. And I hope to keep in touch with all of these incredibly inspiring and knowledgeable people that I have met, and hopefully work together with you in the future. So I just want to end with a huge thank you to the IPC and to everyone involved for giving me this wonderful opportunity. I am so grateful. Thank you.
Malin, that was really wonderful. Looking forward to spending many more time together in the future of working together on areas of your interest with the IPC. So thank you for that. Okay, up next is Dr. Cristina Bertoli, who's a dermatologist at the Arcisipitale Santa Anna Hospital in Ferrara, Italy. She will study with IPC counselor Elke de Jong at Radboud University in the Netherlands in early 2026. Welcome, Cristina.
Thank you for the presentation. Do you hear me?
Yep, we hear you great.
Yes, perfectly. Yes, I'm Cristina Bertoli. I'm an Italian dermatologist working in the University Hospital of Ferrara, and I'm really honored to be one of the International Psoriasis Council Fellow of 2025. My interest in psoriasis grew more than a year ago, starting from my final specialization thesis with Dr. Dilernia in pediatric dermatology. That is my passion field. My thesis was regarding the effectiveness and safety of adalimumab. We collected data from a multi-center study, so data from Italy, Portugal, and France. And I was really happy to work to this study. And during my IPC fellowship, I have been honored to meet virtually and in person Prof. Elke de Jong. And as you said, due to work issues, I've not done my on-site yet, but I'm looking forward to work with her in 2026. During this year, we had a different lessons that I follow with great passion, starting from January, where we entered in the heart of the fellowship with the first lesson. After that, for example, we had in June the lesson regarding psoriasis and infectious diseases with Professor Puig and Professor Rob. After that, we had also research classes. The one in October, we talk about the different approach in epidemiology research. And last but not least, the last one was in November, where we had the opportunity to meet with Prof. Cordoro, Prof. El Sayed, Prof. Evans, and talking about psoriasis in pregnancy, in children, and in elderly patients. During this year, I also had the opportunity to coordinate a lot of co-mentoring group. The one I was really honored to be the coordinator was due to my personal passion about pediatric dermatologist was the one with Professor Paller. We had the first lesson where the professor held a lesson for us in June. And after that, a second meeting in October where we presented our cases, and I was really grateful for her time. I also had the opportunity to meet in person Professor Doss after all our meeting online regarding nail psoriasis. And he is an incredible, kind person and a perfectionist, really great. I had the honor also to organize the psoriasis and comorbidities co-mentoring group with Professor Skov and Zachary from Denmark. And I participated to one of the co-mentoring group organized by our Malin regarding complex and challenging psoriasis cases with Professor Guiano and Professor Tino. Also, we had the opportunity to participate to International Congress of Dermatologists. Also, after that, in September, we met to the EDV Congress in Paris, and it was an incredible opportunity to meet with persons that I knew only on Zoom meeting. So it was really important, and this remembered us also the importance of what we were doing during this year. So what I learned from this year, I deepened my expertise by learning from global leaders in psoriasis care. I refined my skills in innovative and emerging treatment approaches. I benefited from exceptional mentoring and ongoing collaboration with inspiring and generous experts, and I gained a broader global perspective that enriches my daily clinical practice. So what's for the future? I aim to become a regional reference for psoriasis care, especially for pediatric patients. And to do that, I think it will be fundamental to remain committed to continue learning through virtual classes, co-mentoring, and active engagement with international experts. And I want to continue discussing challenging cases and integrating a global perspective like the one of EPC into my local practice. So for all these reasons, I want to sincerely thank all the IPC staff and every professionist that I met along my journey this year. Really thank you from my side. Thank you.
Amazing productivity. That was really awesome to see. All right, up next is Dr. Doriane Sabushimike, a dermatologist practicing at the Kamenji Military Hospital in Burundi. She collaborated on research with IPC honorary founder Christopher Griffiths and IPC counselor Darren Ashcroft at the Global Psoriasis Atlas in Manchester, United Kingdom. Welcome, Doriane. Come off mute. Doriane, can you hear us? It's your turn.
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you
Okay.
see my slides?
Yep, and we can hear you great.
Okay, thank you. So thank you for the kind introduction. Yeah, I was introduced. I'm Doriane Sabushimike. I'm a consultant dermatovenerologist from Burundi and currently working in military hospital in Bujumbura. And it's an honor to present my IPC fellowship journey, even though I'm having a kind of FOMO for not being there physically. So before I take you through my talk, I want to take you to my home country, which is Burundi. It's a very small, very beautiful, landlocked country in the Great Lake region of Africa, especially in east part of the Africa, where most of people live from fishing from the Lake Tanganyika and farming. And it's also a country that is known for his best coffee. So I hope that when we meet next time in an international coffee, I'll have the opportunity to make you test the coffee from Burundi. So yeah, a little bit about my journey as someone who's in her early career as a dermatologist. So I'm very passionate with community-based research in general in dermatology and also in psoriasis. And this began when I was doing my training, my 4 years training of dermatology at the Regional Dermatology Training Center in Moshi, Tanzania. I know it's a very famous training center that most of you know. And that's where I met for the first time the GPA group when they came to do their field study about psoriasis in East Africa. And I had the opportunity to go with them on in a Maasai land where we were screening people for psoriasis. But when they were at the RTC, I also had the opportunity to present some of the psoriasis patients that we had during that time at the center. As you can see on that picture, I was presenting some cases to Professor Griffiths and his colleagues. And through this study field, that's where I got interested with psoriasis. From the presentation that they made, telling us how we should treat them holistically, I realized how we do very little for our psoriasis patients. And that's how I decided I was going to do my thesis. That was in my second year of residency, to do my thesis on psoriasis, where I looked at psychological and metabolic comorbidities in psoriasis patients. I also assessed their treatment satisfaction. So this is how, when I got the opportunity to apply for the IPC fellowship, I did, because now I was already back in my home country, Burundi, and I wanted to know about psoriasis in my home country, because this is a disease that is not known. First, because there's little awareness about it, because we are only 5 dermatologists in the whole country. So I applied so that I can see if I can do something for my home country. And so I got selected. I was lucky to be selected to be one of the research fellows and to be attached to the GPA. So when I was in Manchester for 3 weeks, I got the opportunity to be with an amazing team of GPA. The GPA team, this is a picture of people I was working with. And as you know, one of the the leaders is Professor Ashcroft. And so I had the opportunity to be involved in the GPA work, mainly to build a networking with the African dermatologists. But I also had the opportunity to work on my own research. And this is what we're doing on this picture. So as you may know, the GPA has the main goal, their main four research goals is to understand the epidemiology of psoriasis and to also investigate the economic impact of psoriasis in most of the countries, globally, and recognizing the comorbidity disease burden in patients, and also to improve early diagnosis. So my work was to build connection with African dermatologists so that, because psoriasis in general is a disease that is not well known in or well documented or well researched in Africa. So my main goal was to build a networking with the GPA. And so I had the opportunity to also be with one of the world's influential researcher on psoriasis, which is Professor Griffith, who's currently also working on the cure of psoriasis. So I had 2.5 weeks with him, where I shadowed him in his different clinics, but dermatology in general, but also psoriasis patients, where most of them were already on biologics. I had the opportunity also to get some of his guidance on my personal research. And during my placement in London, through Professor Griffith, he managed to arrange some meetings with some of the influential societies, such as the International League of Dermatological Society. I had the opportunity to visit them at their office and discuss some of the community-based research that I'm working on in Burundi. I had also the opportunity to be with the Global Atopic Dermatitis Atlas, where I had the opportunity to present, to give a talk on common skin conditions and how they present on Black skin. But I had the opportunity also to do some other clinical and academic observational activities. And one of them was to go to community hospitals, such as the Wellington Community Hospital, where I saw how in primary healthcare they manage some skin condition, and learned a lot from the doctors that I shadowed. Also, the same happened in Salford Royal Hospital, where I attended a psoriasis clinic, and was impressive to see what they do compared to what we do and learn from them. I did 2 talks about common skin conditions, one in the King's College Hospital and another one in St. Thomas, as I say. And I had also the opportunity to, as other fellows, to attend the European Society Dermatological Research meeting in Antwerp and the EADV meeting in Paris.
Doriane,
Also,
amazing, but I need you to sum up for time. You've done so much stuff, but I need you to sum up, please.
Okay, so my last slide was about the commentary group, how I learned a lot from the colleagues, and how I'm also working on some research project with them, such as the one that we are doing with Ravi and Renata, and yeah, writing some manuscripts and doing analysis of clinical patient that I see.
Fantastic.
Thank you.
Doriane, your work's going to be very important to us. The IPC is really committed to building out in Africa, and we look forward to working with you. Thanks for your efforts. Really great to see. Okay, up next is Nicholas Brownstone, who's from Philadelphia trained guy, who's now at Mount Sinai as assistant professor of dermatology, and he spent his IPC Council Fellowship with Alvaro Gonzalez Quintero, who was my IPC fellow years ago. So you were my grand fellow. Yeah.
Well, thank you, Dr. Gelfand. I'm Dr. Nick Brownstone, so I'm going to talk about a little bit about myself first, then my experience in the fellowship, what I did, what I learned. So when I started the fellowship, I was a chief resident at Temple Hospital in Philadelphia. It was North Philadelphia. We saw mostly skin of color and Medicaid population. This is what I saw in residency all day long, for the most part. But of course, I saw severe cases like we all do in residency in our practice. And I took over 12,000 photos as a resident in dermatology. It just shows you how many patients I saw. We had 500 patients a week come through our clinic, so I got to see a lot of derm and had an amazing experience. Just loved dermatology so much. actually in residency, on the medical dermatology exam and pediatric exam that we take to become board certified, I got the highest score in the country on both exams. So by, thank you. By definition, nobody scored higher than me, okay? And why am I telling you this? Well, not to brag, just shows you how much I love dermatology, love studying dermatology, so some real passion of mine. And my journey started with Dr. Wilson Liao in San Francisco. I did a 2-year research fellowship, and that's where I fell in love with dermatology and fell in love with psoriasis. So that's me, Wilson Liao, Tina Butani, having a walk near the Golden Gate Bridge. I spent 2 years there. And now I'm at Mount Sinai, assistant professor, where I do general derm, complex medical derm, and cosmetic derm. And of course, my 2 loves are psoriasis and atopic derm. That's my office on 90th and 5th, right near the park. It's such a special place to be. After a stressful day, I walk out and look at Central Park, and all my worries kind of melt away. So I spent my fellowship with Álvaro González Quintero in Madrid, Spain in June 2025, an incredible experience. And as soon as Álvaro met me, he realized my 3 passions in life, or 3 of my passions in life, I have many passions, but 3 of them are dermatology, food, and traveling. And I got to do all those things while I was there. So I got to work with Álvaro at the Ramon y Cajal Hospital, where we saw clinic patients and citywide dermatology patients. We did clinical trials and saw private practice patients at the Grupo Pedro Jaén, and I got to do rounds with the residents to see hospital consults as well, which was very special. We've done a lot of research together, and we're going to continue to do more. Some projects that we've worked on, including using 3D vascular ultrasound to look at heart disease in psoriasis patients. We did a big review on the gut microbiome, and then I invited Álvaro and some of his colleagues to work with me on a project using AI algorithm to help select biologics for psoriasis and psoriatic arthritis. So food, we had many, many wonderful meals. Jamon serrano, manchego cheese, and wine, and this is one night we had together, so really, really enjoyed the food there. Got to travel around Spain a little bit in my free time as well. I went to Segovia. This is the Alcazar of Segovia. It's rumored that Walt Disney, when he visited Segovia, was so struck by the beauty of this castle, he mirrored the castle in Snow White after this castle in Spain, and then especially loved Seville, southern Spain, Andalusia. Such a beautiful country. And co-mentoring groups, I was involved in complex cases, and this helped improve my practice. Actually, we talked about HIV and psoriasis, and a week later, I had an HIV patient in my clinic, and I was able to handle that visit so much better because of what I discussed in my complex cases group. And then psychodermatology, I had to give a talk, 45-minute talk to the PA Society of Pennsylvania, and about psychoderm, and the research I learned in this group helped me make a better talk. And then finally, comorbidities, it gave me ideas for future research from this group. So what did I learn? What are the takeaways? It's incredible to meet everyone from around the world. We share a common passion about dermatology and psoriasis, and I love that global perspective. I've got new lifelong friends, mentors from the fellowship class, everyone that I've met. Learned a lot about clinical trials, working with Álvaro, something I'm doing in my career now and I want to do more of, and also love being an educator, and IPC will help me become an educator on a global scale, which is very, very special. So I'm so grateful for the opportunity. Thank you to everybody, Nikora, Christy, Maureen, kind of behind the scenes, Peter, and the whole IPC fellowship committee here. Really, really grateful. Hope to pay it forward one day. Thank you.
That was great, Nicholas. Really, really good. Okay, next up is Dr. Dina ElDisouki, a consultant dermatologist practicing private tertiary clinic in Cairo, Egypt. She studied with IPC counselor Diamond Thatchi, the University of Lübeck Comprehensive Center for Inflammation Medicine in Lübeck, Germany. Welcome.
Hello, everybody. I'm Dr. Dina ElDisouki. Oops. Wait. Yeah, not sure how to go forward. I think I need to exit this one altogether. Thank you. Okay. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, sorry about that, everyone. So as I was saying, I'm Dr. Dina ElDisouki. I work in Cairo, and I completed my dermatology fellowship over there in 2016. And since then, I've been working at private tertiary clinics, and I am a consultant. I am also interested in the bigger side of healthcare and how it is delivered, and this drove me to study healthcare and hospital management at the American University in Cairo. And I've worked with the WHO on a few projects, and I've done a few non-clinical jobs with other institutes. I also studied the clinical innovation program with the research institutes in Sweden, and this brings me to my interests. I am very much interested in the delivery of a holistic approach to psoriasis care and the use of digital tools to improve health outcomes and the quality of life of patients. It was a privilege to study at the Comprehensive Center for Inflammation Medicine at UKSH in Lübeck, Germany, where I was mentored with Professor Dr. Diamond Thatchy. And the pictures don't show, but I attended the clinics over there where I learned about the clinical trials that are run, and I met with leaders where we discussed cases, and I saw many psoriasis patients and patients with eczema and hidradenitis suppurativa. I attended multidisciplinary meetings, and this helped improve how I treat my patients back in Cairo. One of the highlights of my fellowship was that Dr. Thatchy and I recorded a video for World Psoriasis Day in which we encouraged patients to seek early treatment. And this video reached more than 15,000 patients in less than a month. As for my co-mentoring groups, it was a privilege to study and learn more about the prevention of the progression of psoriasis with the late Professor Gulliver. With Dr. Amy, I learned to refine how I treat my pediatric psoriasis patients, and with Dr. Loneskov and Klaus Zachariah, we learned more about the comorbidities, and I have now started implementing screening for most of my patients. And with Dr. Peter Foley and Dr. Rebecca Nguyen, just as Nick just mentioned, we discussed very interesting cases, and there was always a takeaway. And with Dr. Jewel and Dr. Albert, we discussed the sustainability and the holistic care of psoriasis. And last but not least, with Dr. Thatchy, we discussed whether we are curing or silencing psoriasis, and the group and I are currently writing a paper on that. It was an honor to improve my clinical skills, and I've already started improving how I deliver my care to my patients. I look forward that the fellowship highlighted the importance of a multidisciplinary approach to psoriasis care, and I am more committed to delivering that to my patients. One of the most important things for me personally and professionally was revisiting my confidence, and the fellowship helped me to improve it. Lastly, but most importantly, I realized how important it is to give patients hope, and I was reminded that it is our responsibility to do so. Looking forward, I've already started implementing what I've learned in the fellowship with my patients, and I hope to continue to work in research and education for both patients and healthcare providers. I also hope to build digital tools and bridge my two passions, bringing innovation to patients to help them improve their quality of life and their health outcomes. I hope to build a specialized psoriasis unit in Cairo, and I hope to continue to grow with the IPC to become a key opinion leader, not only in Egypt, but around the world. Thank you all for this great opportunity.
That was great, Dina, and of course we definitely are looking forward to your long engagement with the council. We need your expertise, especially in that part of the world. Up next is Dr. Jennifer Lavina Nigo, who is a board-certified dermatologist in the Philippines. She collaborated on research with IPC counselor Curtin Conrad at University of the Hospital of Lausanne in Switzerland, and she's also a social media darling. So I'm hoping to get on your feed one of these days. Okay. Well,
You will be. Watch my talk in a while.
like and subscribe.
Yeah. So
let me just check. Okay. Oh, sorry. Yeah. So good morning, everyone. Thank you, Professor Gelfand, for that kind introduction. It's really a pleasure to be here. First of all, I'd like to thank the IPC for a year of curiosity, connection, and growth, and how it has clearly reshaped my trajectory. So let me share that story with you today. The Philippines is an archipelago of more than 7,100 islands in Southeast Asia. I work at Rizal Medical Center, a very busy public hospital in Metro Manila. We take care of patients with limited resources but unlimited need, which forces you to prioritize, to adapt, and to keep every decision rooted in compassion and patient realities. Working in that setting, my curiosity naturally shifted towards immunology and what's really driving inflammatory disease. My background is in clinical research, but over time, I wanted to understand why the diseases actually responded to treatment. That curiosity has brought me to this fellowship year and to Lausanne, Switzerland. I was matched with Professor Curtin Conrad, whose work sits exactly where my interests live, at the intersection between immunology and good patient care. On our first conversation, I knew I'd be pushed to think more deeply and more deliberately. It felt like a very natural fit. My fellowship wasn't defined by a single project. It was shaped by immersion. Clinics, lab meetings, research discussions, scientific presentations, and grant writing and review. I wasn't just gaining knowledge, I was absorbing a way of thinking. Beyond the science, what really anchored this year were the people I shared it with. One of the best parts of the IPC fellowship was the friendships I had with my co-fellows. We all met in person at the EADV, and we bonded over sessions, dinner, drinks, and even the Eiffel Tower. After that, it didn't just feel like a fellowship, it felt like a team. ESDR had a different feel. The science was dense, but the energy around skin science was amazing. It felt like a community I wanted to belong to, and now I do. I actually renewed my membership as soon as I got home. At the University Hospital of Lausanne, or CHUV, I found a team that was not only brilliant, but also kind. Consultants, students, nurses, and residents answered my questions, shared their routines, and made space for me in their everyday lives. They made Lausanne feel so much at home that honestly, I barely had time to be homesick during my 3-month stay. Looking back, 3 things shaped me most this year. The co-mentoring sessions felt like mini master classes. Expertise was treated as something you keep building and re-examining. That mindset was both humbling and motivating. Personalized medicine quickly became a favorite theme. At CHUV, I saw how molecular profiling can actually be matched with each patient's clinical and histologic picture and what that meant for treatment decisions. Now, when I'm faced with a difficult patient, I can hear Professor Conrad's voice in my head exactly as he says his famous line on stage, as targeted as possible, but also as broad as needed. A central part of my year was working with Professor Conrad. His thinking is rigorous and well-structured, but his mentorship style is easy and natural. You don't feel pressured. You just find yourself thinking a little more clearly each time. Over the year, that quietly shaped the way I think, read, write, and talk about science. Our conversations sharpened my thinking, widened my perspective, and made the hard parts lighter and the good parts even better. Of course, a year like this doesn't stay neatly in one place. It follows me home and shapes what I do next. One thing I'm really grateful for is that what we started isn't confined to the fellowship year alone. We began projects that I'm excited to keep developing, and the way he taught me to think now guides my work, from caring for patients and leading research in Manila to the projects we started in Switzerland. It's a reminder that the fellowship didn't end. It simply changed form. If I had to sum up the year in 3 words, it would be these: observe, connect, translate. Observe your people, your data, connect people, ideas, and translate those insights to better choices for your patients. Looking ahead, I want to bring this way of thinking back to Manila to help build research capacity, to link molecular insights with better patient care, and to give others the kind of opportunities this fellowship gave me. Thank you, IPC, for a year of curiosity, connection, and growth that stretched my thinking, deepened my curiosity, and reminded me why this work matters. Thank you to my co-fellows, to everyone at SHUV, and to Professor Conrad for quietly raising the standard of how I think and how I work. It's been an incredible year, and it's what he would say would stay for me for a very long time.
Okay, I am pleased to bring up Dr. Ravi Ramessur from the St. John's Institute of Dermatology, King's College London, who was matched in my lab for a year. And Ravi not only did the IPC Research Fellowship, then got a postdoctoral fellowship through the National Psoriasis Foundation, has been an active contributor to the lab in my group, and a very popular local fan of the Philadelphia 76ers now, apparently. Welcome, Ravi.
Thanks, Joel, for the introduction. It's very hard to summarize how incredible the last year has been. I want to start by saying some thank yous, firstly, to the IPC for such a wonderful fellowship, and also to my mentor from King's College London, Catherine Smith, who helped support my application over a year ago now. I also want to say a special thank you to Nikora, Maureen, and Maxi for making the fellowship so smooth, efficient, that's super organized, and it's really made the fellowship thoroughly enjoyable. So many memories from my co-mentoring journey. I had the privilege of learning different areas of psoriasis care from these experts from around the world, but a very special highlight was being able to share sessions with the late Professor Gulliver, whose experience and his enthusiasm throughout his career was really infectious and very inspiring. So as Joel mentioned, I've had the privilege of working with Joel and his team in Philadelphia, and also I was pleased to be able to extend this to a one-year fellowship with support from an MPF Research Award. I mean, it's been an incredible experience. There's so much I'd love to talk about. But the key highlights for me is, firstly, what I've learned clinically, being able to observe Dr. Gelfand and his colleagues in the severe psoriasis clinic, comparing and contrasting care between the UK and the US, as well as attending other specialty clinics, including endocrinology and preventative cardiology, learning how we can better manage comorbidity in psoriasis. Penn has an excellent teaching program through weekly and monthly teaching sessions, as well as complex case discussions, and an invited speaker program where experts from across the US and around the world are frequently invited to talk and to give their insights. A major focus of my time in the US, as Joel mentioned, is our research. And my experience is really built upon my PhD in London, where I looked at comorbid cardiometabolic disease, and the projects that we're undertaking currently focus on targeting these, as well as a range of other areas, including looking at predictors of treatment response in phototherapy, the use of AI in dermatology, as well as the strengths and pitfalls of using real-world data sets in dermatology. And I've learned so many skills through this, which I hope to take forward into my future career and set a good foundation as an independent researcher. And this has culminated in several publications, several successful research grants. A very special moment contribution was data that we contributed to the recent IPC MPF statement on tuberculosis testing. I've also really enjoyed learning the history and culture of Philadelphia and the northeastern United States. And also had the privilege of attending an MPF gala in New York City where Joel won a career award. And it's been great getting to know all of Joel's lab over the last 6 months. As Joel mentioned, I've also become a US sports fan, attending basketball games, baseball games. And the Sixers had a nail biter yesterday, which is why Joel's in such a good mood this morning. I've also really enjoyed visiting several states across the US, Canada, and the Caribbean now. But the most special moment, or the most special aspect of the fellowship is really meeting all of you, the friendships, the connections. I hope to take this forward throughout my life and career. And a final special moment was when Peter tried Ralph's Brazilian tea, which we still don't really know the ingredients of that. Thank you very much.
Okay, I'm pleased to bring up Dr. Ralph Vighi de Rosa, who is Chair Professor of Dermatology at the Pelotas Catholic University in Pelotas, Brazil. He studied with IPC counselor Paolo Gisandi at the University of Verona and Verona, Italy. Welcome, Ralph.
How do I pass here? Oh. Okay. Now. Okay. So, good morning to everyone. It's a huge honor to be here in front of you today. A little bit nervous because it's really important to me. It's a dream coming true. So, my name is Ralph Vighi de Rosa. I'm from extreme south of Brazil, a city called Pelotas, a small city, but an old city with a lot of Portuguese and French architecture. And this is the outpatient clinic that I work in my university with some colleagues. We are really proud to have founded the first day of seeing patients just for severe psoriasis patients in the south of my state. So we're really proud of this. Being an IPC fellow was a dream since I heard for the first time about the program with my colleague from Brazil, my colleague Jacqueline from Brazil, and the classes started on the beginning of the year, and these dreams started to be true, with some classes with professors from each part of the world, my colleagues. In April, I was invited for IPC to attend the FPA event in Bogota, where I met Chrissy for the first time, and I learned that not only is important not only the technical part of psoriasis, but there's a whole community of professionals and patients fighting every day for putting psoriasis as a world health problem. So it was really inspiring. I attended for the first time the Latin America Masterclass, and I hope I can participate the next years too. I'm really lucky for having Professor Paolo Gisandi as a mentor. He's a great person, a great soul that helped me in some current topics that we debated throughout the year. So it was really, really amazing, and I learned so much. My commentary groups, Professor Dr. Amy Paller in pediatric psoriasis, Professor Albert Dubetop and Jules van der Riek in holistic and sustainable care, Professor Reich in psychodermatology, Professor Tachi in curing and ursulin psoriasis, and a special thank to kind Professor Wayne Gulliver, a great person, so kind that teaches us a lot of psoriasis with severe disease, hard to treat patients. So we were really lucky to have some moments with Professor Nguver. So thank you so much, Professor. In EADV in Paris, we met our group fellows from 2025. I think, sadly, that maybe it was the first and maybe the only unique situation that we got all together. So it was really, really special for me. And I went straight from Paris to Verona to my on-site visit, and crossing the bridge over Adige River in that special city was really, really magical. I made a lot of friends there, and I already missed those days. The residents, all the team was really, really kind with me. And there's some projects that I'm still working with Professor Gisondi on a paper, my colleagues and Professor Tachi, and a project that I'm starting this year, about to start this year, and I hope I can bring some data important for IPC, and I hope that this paper can be we can collaborate to IPC with some knowledge about the patients, what the patients think about their disease, what is their knowledge about the disease. So I'd like to thank God and thank IPC for this incredible opportunity to live this dream this year. I'm really lucky to be part of all this. These are the flags for every fellow and every professor that gave us class this year. So it's really incredible to be part of all of this. Thank you so much.
That was really fantastic. I just want to again thank the members of the committee, Peter, Nikora, and all the fellows. Give them one more hand. Thanks so much, guys. You were great.